certified barn burner. Let's have a look at these map bans and see where the chaos is gonna ensue.
Well,
No coast.
oh, back on Villa. Back on Villa.
Huh.
Which is very, very brave of Frenemy, I think. Because we've seen some very strong performances from Delta Project on Villa.
Maybe this is why though. Maybe this is why. Again, if I know Murray like I know Murray, Murray has probably VOD reviewed the absolutely living bejeebus out of Delta Project on this. So I am hoping and assuming that is what has indeed happened. Um, and I would be curious to see what Frenemy then bring as retaliation. Of course, Frenemy being the ones to pick this map. I do believe it will be Delta Project, probably starting on defense. I think they will choose to start on defense here. And again, they do have a very, very strong defense here. It is a strong map for them. Yeah, we will give it to them. But at the same time, it has been shown a few times now. Um, there is the opportunity to make adjustments to what you want to do in order to combat whatever Delta are going to bring to the table. It could also be, that now we are getting into these final 2 weeks, Delta have kind of, decided to change things up themselves and be like, okay, we should mixy matchy and do things a little bit differently this time. So maybe we'll see some of that as well. Again, Villa ultimately is just going to come down to that map control, the way that the roam game is going to come through, the operator bans rather. So again, if we can get nice and stuck into this game and start to see these kind of operator bans coming through, that's going to probably give us more of an idea of how these approaches to these sites are going to go, and thus where that control is going to start from, where that gaining of that control is going to start from, and what kind of utility will be needed to get that control ultimately as well. Um, yeah, I'm excited for this. I am excited. I am hoping Frenemy have ironed out the kinks that they've been experiencing lately, and I hope that again, to finish this, another certified barn burner is on the cards.
Well, it would only be fair.
It would be rude not to, wouldn't it? It would be rude
Exactly.
not to. Um, certainly so. I get these bands are going to go classic, I reckon. They are going to go classic. It's standard that they're not going to. There we go. Delta being the first to ban. They're actually going to choose to ban out Jackal, which is interesting because Frenemy, if they want to leave the Fat from the table, they could.
Is it worth the risk?
That's it, isn't it? That is it. If you are, there we go. Yeah, no, they have decided it isn't indeed worth the risk. So they're going to take that firmly away from anyone be used on this map. And this is the defensive ban coming through.
I mean, looking at Delta Project's previous bans on this map, it's been Jackal both times out, and the Clash was removed in the game up against Gypsy Queens, but that was by Gypsy Queens. So, gonna see what Delta's final ban here is, and that's gonna be the Wamai, which they did ban out when they played against Lost Souls Esports Ladies. So, Delta sticking to their plan from previous weeks, and like you say, Marie, she's going to have VOD reviewed this to Kingdom Come, so is that going to work in favor of Delta, or is that going to work against them by showing the same strat too many times over?
We'll see what happens. So far it looks relatively similar. However, I just want to touch on a point that we haven't still really seen a proper 90 clash hold from any team this season on Villa, despite the fact that we keep going to Villa. And I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed.
I mean, Delta did do one, I believe, in week 3. No, it would have been week 4. And they just absolutely demolished with it. And
I don't
everyone
think
just peeked behind the shield. It wasn't a true to the bone 90 hold, but then it didn't need to be because everyone on the other team died very quickly.
But yeah, again, I think that's less to do with the clash being fought and more to do with just the sheer gunning power you have on that roster. again, I can't think of a player on Delta Project where I'd be like, they're the weak link. There is no weak link there at all. That is a stacked roster.
5 seconds to go.
I said this from the get-go.
Yeah.
It is absolutely disgusting. And again, you can see why it was a bit concerning at the start when you know they lost. They went in off some bank. That really shook me a little bit, to be honest. But they've come back into it now and very much pedal to the metal. I think it's another tournament that they really have their eyes on winning, and there's the big potential that they could.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they lost in week 1 to the French death stack that is Sparkle Team, and we've seen just how frightening they can be. So it's not sort of something to, you know, necessarily hold against Delta Project in the same way, because that's a worthy defeat to have, and Delta have come in firing on all cylinders since then. And now they just need to get this one more out of the way to really secure themselves at the top of the table. But
Oh my
Foxtail,
goodness!
how are you just walking on in? Gets the kill onto Panda. Kitty is going to be there to get the trade immediately back, but now she's trapped herself. I say trapped, but no, turns out you're locked in there with her, not the other way around. She's going to get the kill onto one, and the trade onto Hella. Deb is there to deny any more coming through, but that is a 3k in the round for Kitty before it gets evened on out by Deb into a 2 versus 2. Miss Marie and Mia up against Marie and Deb. Minute 30 to go. The attack doesn't need to push now, but it's going to give both sides an opportunity to get set up and readjust for this next stage of the take.
2v2 by halfway in the first round. Still a bit sweaty, if I'm honest, you know. A little bit sweaty for both sides there, and again, just
Would you have it any other way?
I don't think I would, to be honest. I don't think I would. But again, now Miss Maria and Mia know exactly where this attack will be coming from, and yeah, they can really just batten down the hatches, as my mum would say, and just wait for their approach onto site.
They're even going to be able to start to rotate these shields around, as the last two from FRENEMY wanted to switch it up and go for a take from the master side, because that's going to be where we see Thermite and Iana start to get themselves set up. But a lot of noise has been made in the process of doing so, and that's all of Thermite's flashbangs. Mute jammers on that wall will prevent it from getting opened on up unless Deb uses this frag nade to get rid of the mute jammers. But now the time is just getting far too low. 15 seconds left to go. The Goyle shield gets popped. Marie is going to be in a lot of chaos, but is going to get that kill onto Deb, and now just the Thermite left alive. The wall didn't get opened on up, and now the swings come on through, but there's no time. And that's going to be Delta Project getting round number 1. I'm not sure how that wall didn't get opened on up. I thought that was a guarantee, basically, that it would give them something at the end of the round, but I guess not.
No, and again, I was surprised by that first round. I suppose, you know, I was surprised by it because that was very aggressive from both sides. Love how ballsy with it Foxtel got from the get-go, but at the same time, it's, you know, how much utility is being put down before people are going for these pushes, presumably slightly undroned, because Foxtel, despite getting that pick to start things off, they did go down to Kitty, who was in the vault, and again, I would assume that perhaps the this idea of like, oh, well, maybe they have like 1 or 2 roamers around there, and if they knew someone was maybe looking around 90, and then they saw the person in Aviator, it's this idea of like, oh, there surely won't be a third, but there was a third, you know, there was a third.
And it was Kitty with 3.
It was indeed. We saw it get like 3 players off the board within the first half of the match. Within, oh my goodness, like, yeah, 2v2 at halfway point. I hope that really does set the momentum for how the rest of this map is gonna go.
10 seconds remaining.
I think. I mean, it was just.
5 seconds left.
How did Kitty get 3? How does she get 3 there before finally being shut down? That is...
She gets those. She gets that lunch, Dino. She gets those.
But if she's able to get them in multiple rounds. FRENEMY are just going to find this one slipping away. They need to tighten up on those takes and enforcing those players out of their positions, because if you can just have Kitty sitting around and getting a 3K, playing at Hell in a Cell like it's a 1998 cage match, then, you know, it's not going to be a fun evening for the players on FRENEMY.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But at the same time, I know there's a lot of thinking in the camp of FRENEMY right now. I know they are going to be probably thinking, yeah, we need to search every single nook and cranny, finding our P's and Q's. I think they are going into this knowing exactly what they're coming up against. I don't think they're going to be messing about with it. I don't think they're going to be allowing themselves to make any mistakes more than once.
Ooh. I've never seen that air jab before. I like that. Putting it inside the window frame, making it almost impossible for the defenders to shoot out, but still going to be effective when they go for the flank. Panda, you know that there's a pre-placed C4 somewhere directly above her, and the nitro cell waiting to detonate from the call from the outcam, but it's going to be just to get the opening kill, taking down Shushka to lead things off for FRENEMY. As that C4 gets nothing. Oh, not what you like to see.
Ooh, but that C4 certainly gets something. Deb taken off the board by Kitty of Control. A 4 versus 4. A lot more sterner this time on both sides.
As now, say 4 versus 4, the downstairs control is in the hands of FRENEMY, and they're using it to get rid of players from assumed positions, but no one's actually playing behind the bar right now, and Mia can hold onto these main stairs. The drone is going to call out her position, but it's not going to force her off the angle just yet. This is going to be a difficult spot for these two attackers to try and take, as there's a difficult challenge on over the railings, especially with the time winding down. Mia wanting to get aggressive with it, not really needing to, but wanting to take the fight to them anyway, as now 25 seconds left to go. FRENEMY has no time to play around with. Marie goes down to Kitty, getting yet another kill. Mia's able to get one more as well, putting us now into a 4 versus 2. Panda with 1 and Kitty to close it out. And that's going to be Delta Project taking those first 2 rounds pretty well. I mean, the first one was just a Hell in a Cell and a bit shaky towards the, you know, all the trades that came through, but that was just a strong round from start to finish. FRENEMY got that opening kill and then just looked lost.
Then you say, oh, we just saw Shishka tease around the mirror before going onto the castle, and I'm wondering if that castle is going to be stuck or if they're actually going to bring the mirror out, to be honest, Dino. It would. I reckon it'd be. Yeah. No. No. No, I was just thinking it'd be nice to see a mirror on maybe like, you know, an upstairs on that kind of between statue bedroom. You could have like a mirror there. Because that could be pretty nice and aggressive. And again, Delta would do very well with a kind of setup like that, in my opinion. Again, you could always have one looking into the laundry if you wanted as well, just for extra intel, or even have one facing towards, you know, bottom of Astro, which would be quite interesting again. But ultimately, they're going for the more classical approach here. Obviously, love the fact that the alibi is coming out as well. I think alibi can be very, very useful, especially when you are trying to keep hold of that top floor control, because you can really bait people, get that intel. Lots of nice placements for alibi actually in this upstairs bit. So I'm assuming that you're going to see that.
I mean, we've already seen one alibi already pop off this evening trying to defend the top floor. All the way back in game number 1. So, I mean, yeah, maybe we get to see a repeat of those actions coming on through, but gonna have to see how FRENEMY wants to take this, as Shishka's gonna be gaining lots of intel down inside of the site, and those C4s, they're gonna fly, Grace, they're gonna fly.
They are indeed going to fly, and again,
Drone's ready.
apologize. My stream's gone. Bear with me a second.
Okay, no worries. As we are getting on into this round, we are having Kitty, who, you know, rightfully so, has a lot of confidence at the moment. 3 kills per round is the average so far, and she's probably not going to want to let that slip at all, as Panda's going to get the first kill of this one, taking down Deb. Kitty dealing with the player outside that wolf window, as Panda with another kill, holding down this top floor, takes down Foxtail. Now the frag nade's getting burnt on up. Panda, if this works, I'm going to be so upset. Almost taking the place of the alibi. Could hold the position, but FRENEMY just choosing that dealing with that upstairs directly is going to be far too costly, and instead need to try and switch it up and go for a take onto the site itself. I don't know how that's going to play on out for them.
Absolutely. You know, I think Marie trying to push for laundry area is quite a good idea, because obviously on that acute you can get a lot of the intel. But speaking of intel, Shishka's on the other side of the wall, even if she did make that approach, and she'll be feeding that information back to her teammates as best she can. I'm wondering if Shishka's actually going to be able to get the information needed. There we go! She certainly is able to get the information needed, and that's a nice C4 kill onto Marie there as well. Jess and Hella, it's all left down to them to try and win this round out for their team. And ooh, Hella's actually going to get the pick onto Miss Marie.
And onto Shishka. This round isn't over yet. This is now a 2 versus 3. Delta Project still holding the advantage. 30 seconds left on the clock, and Panda just wanting it. Just wanting to hide in a corner, be mistaken for an alibi clone, and just absolutely pop off.
Absolutely, you know, that could genuinely work, because the more time runs out, the more these players are going to feel the pressure as they go for this collapse. And there's no strict plan here. Just getting the pick onto Mia, but there we go. Kitty and Panda polishing it off nice and proper. A very, very strong round coming through from Delta Project.
Yeah, good performance from them. That was a what you'd call a standard round, not a Delta Project round, but it's a standard round. A Delta Project round is far more like the first two, where it's just someone getting an inordinate number of kills to start things off, and then it's just, well, okay, we'll see how this goes from here on out. As Kitty, you know, 3 rounds in with 7 kills, like I say, an inordinate number of kills to start things off, and we're just going to have to see how this one goes, as FRENEMY are just struggling to put it together in these rounds.
Absolutely. And again,
Defenders, protect your
I
bombs
know,
from
like,
being defused
I
by
think
attackers.
arguably throughout a number of tournaments and a number of seasons, I think Kitty's just a player that I really adore to watch play. And it's not just because, yeah, yes, of course, she can get these kills, but it's her ability to use every single piece of utility in her arsenal to such a very controlled extent as well. Like, she just makes everything seem so perfect. It's like, I don't know how to even explain it. It's like something else. Like, honestly,
10
the
seconds.
mind boggles, you know. I would
5 seconds to insertion.
see 4 off my toes to play like that.
Attackers are moving
Actually,
out to
no, I
locate a
wouldn't.
bomb and defuse it.
Actually, no, I wouldn't. But I wish I could play like that. Certainly so.
All right. Well. Okay, so
It's one of those shows this evening, isn't it? One of those shows.
One of those.
It's one of those indeed. Deb making her approach into the study area.
This is a lot of control.
It is a lot of control, and already taking down Kitty, that's going to do them the world of good as well. Panda, however, that could be a little bit of an upset at some point against this aviator ball, shotgun in hand. Certainly you want to be droning that out. This could be very, very upsetting. Ooh, Deb, getting a bit too close to it. Foxtail falling to the likes of Shishka. There we go. There's Panda with the shotgun.
She's gonna try and stay playing around here, as Hell is getting to push on up and getting aggressive. There's one sitting inside of 90. Marie goes down, but the peak is gonna work out in favor of the Ash, as they're gonna be able to revive Marie, and it's going to be a 3 versus 2, almost an exact copy of the first round. But this time, FRENEMY is going to have an advantage. They're going to have the man count.
Attackers
Two
have
players
recovered
on
their defuse.
incredibly low HP, going to have to fight against an entrenched Miss Marie and Mia, already holding down the objective. C4s in each of their pockets. There's going to be Valkyrie cameras positioned around the map,
Attackers have
and
located
Goyo
bombs.
shields to boot as well. So not a fun situation to be in if you're one of those players on FRENEMY.
Not at all. They do have the player advantage bow, and they do have a lot of utility they can use. Miss Marie, however, she's going to whittle this back down to a 2v2 like it is nothing. Mia safely plonked behind this shield. Utility coming through to the Selma gate, and there's that Ash charge to deal with the shield as well. Potentially, this might lure them into a false sense of security as she tucks herself firmly against that bomb site. There we go. We're risking the burn of the fire to get that pick onto Helen. There we go. Mia getting another pick onto Marie. A very, very strong clutch from the ladies of Delta Project.
Through the fire and flames, the frags come through as Delta Project staying flawless so far, 4-0 here on Villa and FRENEMY. They're a team that, you know, sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're cold. And this is looking like a week where it's just not going to work on out for them. There's not enough spice in the Balti, and it's not looking too hot for them.
It's not indeed. It is not. It's looking rather calmer right now, actually. But
Oh.
I think they are doing the best they can in this kind of situation. Again, they're droning it out. They're trying to get their picks. They're trying to win their ones. They're approaching things in you know,
Attackers need to
there's nothing.
locate
It's
and
not like
defuse
they're,
bombs.
you know, flapping about, going directly towards side. It's not like, you know, oh, we'll just go into the window and fall in, and there we are. Like, they're doing everything right. They're doing everything right. It's just Delta are being so bulky with it. They are being so bulky with it. The shotguns tucked against the wall. Kitty just going on a rampage. The aggression. It's very, very good. And again, it's just, it's like the confidence that comes through in the way that they play as well. Like, even small things like, you know, Mia,
5
she
seconds to
moves
go.
to the bomb, and then it's like, yeah, okay, they're gonna blow that up, and then I'm gonna just jump into the fire to get my one. Like,
Yeah, because if you get shot twice by that Ash, which is not an unreasonable, you know, thing to happen in that firefight, you're gonna go down because of the damage that you've taken from the flames. And Mia's just, I do not care. I don't think you could pay her to care in that round. She'd still go for that fight.
indeed, watching Hala do a little bit of parkour here is quite an interesting thing for the observer to be showing us right now. Just making their approach as well into the eastern side of this map. Again, I think this is going to be a nice, good old-fashioned split push, but the risk of pushing by yourself on a map like Villa is insane. You need to be ideally pushing with someone else, in my opinion. Here, getting a nice C4 kill onto Deb there as well. You don't want to be caught off guard, Dino. You don't want to be caught off guard.
Absolutely not. I thought for half a second there that C4 detonating might actually deal some damage onto Panda. We've seen that happen many times before, where going down to a teammate C4, the pre-fire through the wall from Kitty, almost going to do enough damage onto Hella. There's going to be the shot coming in from behind of Panda to get the kill onto her, and that is now going to be a 5 versus 3. And this is looking like Delta Project getting back into full gear yet again. The flanks having to be held because they just don't know where the pressure could come from. Peaks taking place onto the 90 corridor. The flashbang's going to come on out from Foxtail. Try and force the angle off, but it doesn't even matter. Miss Marie wanting to take the fight anyways. We're actually going to see Foxtail get down, jumping out of the 90 window, putting us now into technically a 2 versus 4. Reviving Foxtail is going to take up a lot of time from FRENEMY, and time is the one thing that they don't have the luxury of. They're going to go for it anyway, get her back on her feet, but Mia's going to get the kill onto Jess, and all of that control, all of that presence that they had in 90, gone in an instant.
Absolutely, and again, 2 versus 4 when Foxtail's very, very beat up right now, and that's the
Even more so.
tiniest nub of health.
User has
Mia's gonna, there we go, Mia is just gonna clean it up. Maria and Foxtail both falling to her. Mia on a little bit of a tear herself this map, to be honest. Final round of Delta Project's defense, and it's looking scary for FRENEMY right now, Dino. It's looking very, very scary indeed.
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen outside of one NA Pro League game about 2 years ago anyone come down from 6-0, let alone anyone come down from 6-0 on Villa. And that one, it was the attack that got 6 rounds. And then it switched over, and then the attack got 6 rounds again. So this is not looking good
attackers need to
in
locate and defuse
any
the bomb.
capacity by any metric for FRENEMY. As Delta, if they win here, they just need 1 round on the attack.
And if you're FRENEMY, you have to win 6 rounds in your defense.
Yeah.
Which is a you know, hard feat for the most confident of teams, but I suppose right now your confidence, if you're FRENEMY, is very, very rattled by the performance that Delta have put on. Again, just the sheer aggression of it, and you know, certain players certainly popping off this evening. Panda been getting some very nice kills just out of
Locate a bomb
pure
and defuse it.
shotgun goblin behavior. And then yeah, Kitty and Mia just absolutely winning their ones and getting so aggressive again. Mia just running into the fire, Kitty throwing herself up and down staircases. Really is a sight to behold.
Delta Project firing on all cylinders right now, and you can't blame them for the aggression that they're showing at this moment in time. It's the last round of the half. You're already, you know, on a very nice course to win this one. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but you can just see that Kitty has been told, yeah, just go and take whatever fight you want. Play how you want to play right now. And can you blame them, really? But Foxtail might be able to get something going here. Starting to try and work her way on in, but gets detected, gets shot. The C4 comes on out, and she gets the hell on out of there. Not having to deal with that at all is probably a wise decision, as there is still some pressure being applied by the defenders up above as well.
Bomb located by
I
attackers.
mean, I'm just kind of trying to think, like, I wonder, you know, they are going a bit more direct. They're going for the jugular this time. They're not as much going to try and get the control, and Deb actually getting the opening pick for FRENEMY this time. And I think this has actually caught them a little bit off guard, just for the aggression being met, to be honest. Mia taking the pick onto Foxtail, and Hella getting one in retaliation as well. Deb getting another pick onto Mia as well. You know, it's looking good.
Yeah, this is looking like FRENEMY will not let this round be a flawless sweep for Delta Project, as the plant has gone down from Marie, and it's just Panda left alone in a 1 versus 4, vaulting on down, getting shot from behind. Dead there to get the kill, the opener and the closer of this round. Is, yeah, just a strong take from FRENEMY. They got themselves into positions. They did, as you said, they went for a direct push onto the objective. Some nice double peaks coming on through, and Delta Project just didn't really have an answer. They weren't in position to deal with these pushes. I think they were just expecting the running around and shooting what they see to work a bit more, or for FRENEMY to attack upstairs. So yeah, well played FRENEMY. But Delta Project are now on their attack, and this is where they really get to control the pace of the rounds.
Absolutely, and again, it's the thing is that yes, FRENEMY won that last round, but I'm concerned if it's the fact that they won because they
Attackers need to
took
locate
Delta
and
so
defuse
off
bomb.
guard. Delta again probably expecting them to go and get the map control upstairs, etc., etc. Obviously, FRENEMY going for jugular did catch them off guard, and despite players like Kitty getting a pick and trying to hold, Mia rather, getting a pick and holding it back as best they could, if you've got more players coming at you than you can deal with, you are going to go down. And I'm concerned now that maybe if you're Frenemy, it's like, okay, well, if you now go back to a more basic and standard way of playing on this defense, are you just gonna give Delta the space they need to close this out? Perhaps actually it would be beneficial for Frenemy on this defense to be doing things that are perhaps a little bit more unorthodox.
Yeah, being a bit unorthodox, being aggressive in the right way. You don't want to obviously offer up any free kills to the side of Delta, but you also can't just let Delta walk all over you and gain all the map control that they want. It's about being able to take the right fight at the right time and getting away safely. Which I'm going to have to see if Frenemy are able to do, as Delta Project going for a full map clear, coming in from the master bedroom side and going to go for an execute over onto Aviator Games. It's going to be Foxtail to get one, get two. Kitty and Panda go down because the flanks weren't being held properly, and that's what I mean. Foxtail gets two and gets on out of there. That's going to make things pretty nice for Frenemy, but Shishka not going to make things perfect. He's going to get the kill onto Deb. Try and keep things somewhat even as we're now in a 3-on-4.
3-on-4 indeed. Again, this approach can be made virtually uncontested. I don't think Frenemy are going to get too bulky with it. We're going to see some utility get replaced as well. And again, they certainly know where this approach is going to come from now. So I think there's a lot to work with if you're Frenemy right now. There's a lot to work with. But oh!
Flyby. As Miss Marie just goes flying past Shishka's POV. That C4, well timed, well placed, and yeah, Delta Project now looking in a pretty rough spot. They are going to try and open up this vault wall, but there's a mute jammer on it, and there's nothing they can do to deal with the Maestro Cam holding down long corridor as well. The best bet is to activate that Kebi call and try and push up while no one can watch the cams, but it's not going to give them a lot of time or space to work with.
Not at all. Ooh. Thing in work though, managing to down Marie. No toxic babes to hold back this approach if they do start to collapse in. But again, Frenemy are going to know exactly where they're coming from. They shouldn't have been allowed this much breathing room to get into sight there. Mia's now able to hold this line of sight as that plant is going down. More toxic babes coming out. The Owlder, however. The Owlder coming in clutch, taking down Shishka, and Mia can take out Jess in retaliation. But ultimately, a nice little flank up 90 is going to polish that off. Frenemy still clinging on by the skin of their teeth, you know.
Yeah, I thought the smoke would go down from the Zakebi shots, but no, actually shot the canister out of his hand and absorbed the bullet. So, I mean, wouldn't have made much of an impact onto the end of that round. But Frenemy, as you say, they're going to get that one. They're going to keep themselves in it, and that's going to put them now in a position to start building some real momentum. 2 rounds in the pocket can soon become 3, and then we've got a real game on our hands and a real competition to close this one out. As Delta Project, sometimes this happens. Teams that are in the lead get too overconfident and forget their P's and Q's, don't cross the I's and... No, don't dot the I's and cross the T's. I always say that one the wrong way around. And then you wind up in a losing situation, and yeah.
I think the Pogmats come through, do you know?
Pogmats indeed.
Oh my god, they are one in closet. Okay. I wonder if one will go pig, maybe pig window. One's okay. That's
Attacker's objective is to
don't know how I
locate a
feel
bomb and
too
defuse
much
it.
about that. Again, think the window placement's probably the best for now. Again, there's a very, very, very safe and defensive setup here coming through from Frenemy, rightly so. Just again, slightly disappointed we're not having anyone really get super bulky and go for like a spawn peek or anything like that.
I mean, Frenemy know how good of gunners that Delta Project are. I guess that a healthy level of fear is probably going to be playing into it. Because if, well, as it should, because if FRENEMY, go for a spawn peek and it works, and yeah, they're, champions of the people, and they've probably got the round to boot.
Bomb
But
located by attackers.
they go for the peak and it just gets immediately slapped down by Delta Project, then you've offered up a 4v5 at the start of the round, and Delta Project, already this far ahead, are just going to keep running with it.
I just want to see things turn up to 10, and well, there we go. Kitty droning out Foxtail and getting a lovely pick there. Presumably that could have been a nice potential C4 kill on the board for FRENEMY as well. Kitty getting used to clear away the Electra claws on this wall. It's not actually able to hit anything though.
It's all the way to the far side. I think there must be two being used. One tucked on this north wall in the place where it can't be caught by the nade, and the other one to the south side is so high and far away that the nades won't get it, as Deb is going to be able to get that kill onto Miss Marie. So no more Gemini replicators to come on through. The holograms are hollow gone, as that's going to be another frag being used. Kitty getting tagged up quite a lot by the Elder, but it's going to be Kitty to get the better of Jess in that one, as Marie has also gone down. Shushka is going to get the frag onto Hella, and now it is just Deb 1 versus 4, and her phones are ringing. They're going to know where she's coming from. These Astro stairs, her path back on in, and Mia's not going to give her anything. The Dokkaebi DMR coming through to close it out.
And there we go, Dino. Match point. To be fair to FRENEMY, right, they're able to get some rounds on the table. They can still potentially hold this off for as long as they possibly can. Otherwise, this is going to be yet another 7-2 on the board for this evening of Project Athena. So a lot of barn burners this evening. A lot of barn burners indeed.
Absolutely. And Delta, they're gonna try and clean this one up nice and quickly, and we're gonna see FRENEMY Grace go back to the same site, the site that they just lost. And it doesn't feel good as
it doesn't. It does. I don't like it when people do that anyway. I really don't like it. I think that's not how, in terms of like memory, it's not favorable for you. At the same time, I understand kind of being like, oh, maybe we only lost because of this one minor issue, and now we want to, iron it out a little bit. But it's too risky. It's too risky at this point. I don't think it was like a minor issue. I think Delta just came in and were winning their ones, and this has been kind of the theme for a lot of this evening. They've just been making these pushes. They know exactly where they are at all times. They're just swinging out and getting their dub, and
I think you can go back to the same site if, like you say, it was one minor thing or one player on the other team had just an insane round. If someone walks into a room, flicks 3 people and gets all headshots, and you lose the round because of that, then yeah, okay, run it back, try the same site, see if they can hit the same shots. Chances are they won't. But when it's more of like a whole strategic failure where, Delta Project just got whatever they wanted, and that ended up being a 4 versus 1 for the final kill, that's a very, very different situation. But that's a better start to this one.
absolutely beautiful headshot coming through from Deb there, getting the pick onto Panda. That's all that Zofia utility immediately taken away. The Selma gate has been destroyed, however. ADS is currently saving her from more flashes. Again, a lot of utility placed on that doorway for Delta to deal with, but they're doing a good job of dealing with it 9 times out of 10. Foxtail in a really, really lovely ratty position here.
I'm pretty sure this has been found. It looked like Miss Marie saw it on a drone, and yet Kitty, aware of it, trying to go for the fight, but loses. Foxtail through the wall, lands that shot, but can't get the follow-up onto Mia. Upside down rappel on the window. Far too strong this time around. As now Delta Project have that control over by master bedroom. Looks like they're going to try and go for this wall again. It's going to be the mute jammers instead of the electrical. That wall's going to get opened on up as Deb gets aggressive almost needlessly, and that's going to be Shishka, the beneficiary of that kill coming through. And now Delta, this is looking like it's going to be the round to end it all here.
Absolutely, and again, they're trying to apply these separate angles, these separate dimensions to this collapse that they're now going to do. Just getting bolshy with it is caught off guard by Miss Marie. Mari is going to send out some of those toxic babes to try and hold them back in the bathroom area for as long as possible. But that Dokkaebi bomb is coming through, and these positions are going to be well unknown to Laser Delta Project, who now know the statue is pretty much for the taking if they want it.
Marie trying to hold on to the Astro side. Is going to get the kill onto Mia, evening us out into a 2 versus 2 as Hella's gone for the rotation around. Is going to be able to apply pressure on through the statue door. Gets the kill onto one, but Shishka's there for the trade and the follow-up. The defenders win because the last kill is a trade and the diffuser isn't down. FRENEMY holding on for dear life. Keep themselves above water for one more round.
I have no words. I have genuinely no words. That way too close for nail. Way too close for nail. FRENEMY doing a really good job of again clinging on for dear life right now, as Delta are just throwing everything under the sun at them. Again, though, they're going to go to Aviator. They did quite well on this last time. To be honest, they did do quite well on this. So potentially, if they just keep that momentum, they can keep going. They can keep going strong and try and just desperately pull back more and more of these rounds.
I mean, Delta Project had that round. Just, I feel Mia didn't need to get aggressive on the bathroom. Have a drone set up ready for the flank and support the team trying to go for the plant. One person holding the door, one person holding through the breaches. And then that's almost definitely a Delta Project round. Instead, the confidence of these players actually working against themselves for once is getting picked off in these one-on-one gunfights. Shishka, she's had a 1 versus 4 clutch on that objective before, but it wasn't going to be the case this time around. As now we are going to see FRENEMY going to defend Aviator Games once again. Been successful on this one once before already, so Delta Project at least have an idea of what they're going up against, as Deb, to open things up, loses a lot of health.
Yes, indeed, but rather losing health than being dead, because again, you really still want to keep that player advantage. I love this approach for Delta are taking, choosing to go in through the library area. Kind of going again a little bit unusual here. That lion scanner going off so they can hunt out anyone that may be lurking in the depths of the ground floor villa.
Well, it was the C4s from FRENEMY previously that was so effective. I believe they got at least 1, if not 2 kills by pre-placed C4s down below. So smart from Delta Project to try and go for a push like this. The only concern is, are they going to spend too much time making sure and double checking when in reality there's actually no pressure there, although it does look like Foxtail has either used her C4 already or it is pre-placed, and if so, it's probably been destroyed by now. The flashbang is going to come on through the stuns as well, but Deb is going to get that kill onto Mia as just not ready for the player to already be... Oh no, sorry, that was a fight taking place elsewhere, but still Foxtail goes down. Panda gets the kill onto Hella as well. And now 90 control over in the side of Delta Project. Jess trying to get aggressive and holding on to this study door as Deb going to go for the long rotation to challenge down the 90 corridor. On low HP, this could work out against her. So instead of swinging aggressively, she's going to passively hold this and wait for the fights to come to her. As Murray trying to hold on inside of the site. Those smokes can deal a lot of damage and waste a lot of time, but you need to get it done correctly as Jess is going to open up, well, destroy those Excaros pellets to stop the wall from opening on up. As now with 45 seconds left to go, Delta need to have something moving here. The wall's starting to get opened up yet again. Nothing Jess can do about that one. And now she's going to be forced to hold potentially an unfavorable angle. The pre-fight doesn't find anything. It's now 30 seconds left. Positions for the last 30 seconds or so have been the same, and finally the stalemate breaks. So Shishka is able to get that kill on Jess. The swing around is going to be punished. Panda gets one, but Marie is there to trade it on out, but it's a 3 versus 1. The smoke with the shotgun, the canisters in hand. Is going to smoke the deep corner. It's going to be the Yana coming in from the study balcony. Gets that final kill, and Delta Project finish this one out 7-3.
7-3 indeed. You know, FRENEMY put on the best fight they could in that situation, in my opinion. Again, this is just a very, very strong map for Delta Project. They're absolutely on top form now. Again, just small mistakes, but again, for the most part, it was a very aggressive and dominating performance from them, as expected. But, you know, again, for the side of FRENEMY, to be able to pull those rounds back as best you can. And even again, some of these rounds, they really were coming down to the nail. And I think FRENEMY really did put in a good fight there as well. And yeah, Delta Project firmly remaining at the top of the leaderboard, Dino. So they're going to be feeling very, very good about that. And, you know, speaking of the leaderboard,